Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now? Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. So I'm good to start. Once again, sorry for being late today. Uh, so let's if you guys could introduce yourself, and I will introduce myself as well. So one by one, I can see some of the guys are sitting in the class, some are online. So let me start from the class one. Introduce yourself, which paper you are attempting in December, how many papers cleared. Good. First professional paper. You working somewhere? No. Any plan to start work in this session? After this session? 24. Good. Accounting and strategy. So which one paper you already done? Best of luck for this. How was the paper? And answered? Great. In March SBL, inshallah. So which two others you are done? SBR and triple S. That's fine. You working somewhere? Okay. This would be your first professional paper. So you are done with done, not result awaited. So none paper attempted in September. Why? Just asking. If you are working, where you are working? In the department? International Finance. Nice. Good to hear that. Can I have feedback on similar lines from the online ones? Mustafa, Junaid, Hassan, Isha. Uh, which papers? So, what's your status in ACCA? Professionals, which done? Working, not working. Uh, that's nice, Hassan. Good to hear this. Well noted, Junaid. Isha noted. That's good, Mustafa. Best of luck for Triple A. So, out of the four online ones, is there anyone who is working? Working is working, whether it relates to ACC or not. Working is working. That's nice. Nice. No, no, no. I guess one Isha left, right? So, Isha, what about you? Working, not working? No. Acceptance by silence. I assume no. Yes. Umar Hayat. Working, yes. Mashallah. Good. What's your status in professional exam? Third subject. So, which two already done? Two attempted. Which one? Okay. So uh, AFM attempted and SBR attempt. AFM attempted. Nice. So ATX and SBL left. Supervising VAT team means you will be reporting to Kedar. Good. He was my student 2016, 17. Well, good to know. I was just asking about your working status basically to assess how much you can give dedicated time to studies or not. So that's the only objective of asking this working or not working. So, uh, welcome you all in the ATX first class. Uh, like any other professional paper. So let me have word on the paper format first. Then we'll talk about ATX in more detail. So, as part of paper format, two sections, section A, section B. In section A, 50 marks. Section B, uh, section A, one question, 50 marks. Section B, two questions, 25 marks each. So again, 50 marks. Like all other professional exams, ATX is basically uh, divided into some technical marks. This 50 is divided into technical and professional skill. Out of this 50, 40 is technical, 10 are in the same way. For section B, 20 marks each technical, 5 marks each professional. So if I make a sum, technical marks in total is like, and professional is like, if I ask you, taking your feedback, and by the way, these professional marks were used to be only till March 23 for 80 years. Taking your views, 4 professional to 20 professional marks, would your paper be going to be more easy or going to be more difficult? Your views on this. Easy. Easy. Okay. No impact. It has nothing to do with knowledge. Like it has to do, but not very much linked with knowledge. So this is knowledge mainly. Difficult. So let me tell you my assessment. So what the examiner and ACC expectation now is. So previously, like we read the question and start writing it without thinking too much what to write, how to write, what should be the flow of the answer. But post this thing, the focus is shifted towards more on what to write, not what to write, to be exact, how to write. What should be first, what should be second, what should be the flow of answer is more important than what is. So what is answer? The factual accuracy is important still, but what should be flow of answer? What should be first step? What should be second step? What should be third step? Take care of other things. This is the importance which ACCA now you guys wants to focus more. Again, how to write as compared what to write. Previously, 96% focus on what to write. Only 4% focus was how to write. Now, 20% focus is on how to write. Your writing should cover the professional skills, which we'll be discussing shortly. But as you guys would be familiar, the four broad skills, if anyone knows, four broad skills: commercial acumen, analytical skills, evaluation, and professional skepticism. So, like he said, these things exist previously, but these do not carry the marks itself. So this is like embedded in other workings, but ACCA now marking it very separately. And by the way, as part of these 80 technical marks, 80 is technical, I agree. But within this 80, there are 5 ethical marks as well. Ethical marks means like ethics related. Ethics related as in ACCA Code of Ethics. Remember, 5 fundamental principles of ethics. And professional behavior. Correct. All these things remains the same. What will change over here in the ATX is because like some of you guys have attempted AAA, or at least all of you have attempted AA. So what's change over here is your capacity to think would change. So previously, you were taking care of these ethical principles as accountant, as auditor, but now you will be taking care of all of these things in capacity of tax advisor, in capacity of tax consultant. The similar threats which exist in F8 audit times, similar threats exist over here. Threats to independence, familiarity threat, intermediation, self-interest, self-review, advocacy. The threats are again the same. What change over here is capacity to think would change. So again, if I focus with respect to marks distribution, so it means only 75 marks are tax related out of 100. 5 ethics, 20 professional skills, only 75 marks are relating to your technical aspect. I want to have some discussion on the ethics related marks first. Sorry, professional marks first, then we'll talk about the technical aspect. Professional skills, 4 aspects: commercial acumen, professional skepticism, and analytical skills. Good. What is commercial acumen? Just asking. Thinking as a businessman. And good, good word. Having a 360-degree view. What is 360-degree? Holistic view of all the things. Like, do not think with respect to text as well. Think with respect to other aspects as well. right? And commercial acumen. You know, you guys must be familiar with the terminology which is called tax avoidance, right? Do you guys understand the word which is called anti-avoidance legislation? I'm just asking. So if not, I don't mind explaining it. Anti-avoidance legislation. Do you guys know? Okay, no issue. What is anti-avoidance legislation? Tax avoidance. All of us are familiar with this, right? Tax avoidance. Is it illegal? Yes, no. No. Agreed. Tax avoidance. Can it be unethical? Unethical. Can it be? So I'm not saying it is unethical. I'm not saying. I'm asking. Can it be unethical? Can. How? If yes, then how? Manipulation, like changing the legal status just to save the tax. Like I'm just saying, for example, paper marriage, just to save the tax. If it's a genuine marriage, you have, if you claim reliefs, tax reliefs based on genuine marriage, it's not unethical. But if you're making, for example, paper marriage just to save the tax, you're not doing illegal thing. But is it something which is unethical you should not be doing? The answer is yes. Tax avoidance is legal, so tax authorities cannot do anything. But imagine tax is your expense, revenue of HMRC. You are saving your expense. It's fine from your perspective. But imagine it's impacting the revenue of HMRC. So HMRC really discourages such kind of tax avoidances, like where the main theme of tax avoidance is making artificial steps, changing the legal structure just to save that tax. So HMRC has issues with this. And but legally they cannot do anything because you are not evading the tax. So to overcome that, tax authorities makes the anti-avoidance legislation. So anti-avoidance means to combat with the tax avoidance schemes. I repeat my statement, to combat with the tax avoidance schemes. Such schemes are called as anti-avoidance. Anti means against, avoidance, the way of tax avoidance. So these legislations are prepared to protect the tax avoidance schemes, and that's why it is called anti-avoidance legislation. Why this legislation is prepared, that's also part of commercial acumen. But again, to have this commercial acumen, first you should be able to understand what's the way to avoid the tax. And if you understand what's the way to avoid the tax, then it would be easy, not as such difficult. Professional skepticism. What is professional skepticism? Tax mitigation, is it legal? Again, if tax mitigation is via legal ways, then yes, it is. But if the mitigation is via illegal ways, then it would be evasion. And evasion is a criminal offense. Yes, what is professional skepticism? Skepticism. Questioning mind. Good one. One word. Good. Questioning mind. Do not trust on the client. On anyone. Not on client only, on anyone. Critical analysis. So, are we really supposed to consider, for example, if there is any factual statement, we start questioning that as well? So, what I'm like, I agree with what you guys are saying, questioning mind, not trust on customers or anyone. But is it something we start believing everything is wrong? So, the key takeaway is uh, questioning mind. Yes, I agree. Another word I like to say over here is keep your eyes open. So it's not like do not trust anything. You should trust, but with respect to factual, so keep facts in your mind and think in your mind like whether this statement is factually correct, not correct. So that is the skepticism aspect. Analytical skills. Don't trust. Nice. Comparing the data. And so one thing, comparing data. And evaluating the trends, assumptions. So again, one type of identifying the potential issue is look for that trend. So that is the, you can say one word, maybe good word would be trend analysis. Evaluation. Whether, for example, I'm going bit technical. For example, adjusting the loss in current year is better or carry back is better. I hope I'm not very much difficult. Like, like while having a loss, we can adjust the loss with current year total income carry back. Current year better, carry back better, carry forward is better. That is for any kind of options. If you have, should we go with treatment under option A? Should we go with treatment under option B? That is basically the evaluation. Evaluation is more involved with the like I'm just giving you a reference. I do not expect very much. Like in F6, we have a 10-mark question. Remember, in F6, always we have a 10-mark question, text planning. So this is more touching towards the evaluation. What is beneficial, what is not beneficial. Although that's a very high level discussion on the professional skills, at the moment, I'm not very much in detail discussing these professional skills. We will be keep discussing this while doing the questions and more importantly towards that. I like to have some breakup of the ATX syllabus. In ATX syllabus, basically there are some F6 brought forward knowledge and there are some new areas. And just a hypothetical number from your side. And that's like approximation. What should be like, what should be the percentage of your brought forward knowledge versus new areas? When I'm using the word new areas means the areas which are not part of F6, right? And brought forward F6 knowledge means, let me tell you one thing for sure. All of the F6 is assumed to be in your mind by the ATX examiner, not by myself. That's the expectation of ATX examiner. You guys are done with it. TX, you guys have knowledge of TX, and I, ATX examiner, can question from that as well. Plus, there are some areas which were not in the scope of TX, so that's are also included. But if I ask you a breakup, hypothetical, what would be the brought forward knowledge? What would be the new areas in percentage term? Okay. No idea. Hypothetical. 100%. So yes, if you do not recall F6, then yes, I agree. 100% would be new. No, but that's the reality. I am talking about the examiner expectation. Like the syllabus breakup, not expectation, syllabus breakup, 70-30. So on average, yes, it hovers around. So I've not calculated to be exact, but it is approximately 60 to 70% is brought forward knowledge, and approximately 30 to 40% is like new areas. And again, when I'm saying new areas, uh, it means they were not part of F6. This is the examiner expectation. What is my expectation? My expectation from you guys, I don't know, luckily or unluckily, one of the biggest problem with the F6 paper is once we are done with the paper, we forget 50% of the F6. Honestly, I do not believe this is the situation with FR or F8. It's always the same. So I like the views can differ. That's my view. Honestly, my view. So in my opinion, F7 is something which we remain in discussion with our peers, with our juniors, seniors, etc. But I don't know. F6, never ever discussed. Once we appeared in the exam, 50% tata bye bye. Once we get the result, the rest of the 50% is gone on that day. So at the moment, my expectation is you guys do not recall, do not remember anything from that. So ATX, like in this ATX session, we will be revising this. And I'm using the word revising this. And we will be revising this. We will be because you guys know this area. It's not in your mind, but it's not like you don't have the concept. You have the concept. It's get dusted, like there is a dust. We need to brush that up. That's a different thing. But we are not supposed to learn it from the scratch. So you have the concept, we need to brush that up. But it is something which we need to learn from the scratch. And that's my analysis. If examiner asks from this area, ATX examiner, if asked from this area, it increases the technicality level. The application is at times, like, let me tell you one thing very, this examiner expectations very simply. Imagine, any one of you has like younger brother, sister, nephew, niece who is like up to 10 years old. Nephew, niece, no? Yes. If you ask your nephew or niece, for example, 9 multiplied by 3, 27. Would your nephew, niece be knowing up to 10 years age? Yes. But maybe if you ask your nephew, niece in this way, would it be easy? But can you guys tell this? How? Why? Because you know the ways how to tackle this out, right? Let me tell you simply. The things are same, right? Conceptually, the things are same. The tables element. This is the way the question, the tables used to ask in F6, for example. This is the ATX level. So if the tables, for example, is asked in ATX, then it would be asked in this way. This was the TX level. I don't know whether you get the message on. So it's like If the TX areas are examined, it would not be straight away. It would be a reverse working, applying some your judgment, acumen as well. But for these things, it would be on this approach because this is your first time you are going through with it. I was just sharing some of the facts. Interestingly, in the ATX syllabus, if I want to divide the syllabus, uh, going to discuss the syllabus in detail in ATX. 5 broad sections. The first one. Can you please tell me the names of this income tax thing? So let's start this. Let's take 10 minutes Tamas break. So that's fine. Sorry, I missed that. 6:50 is time by my watch. Let's resume at 7. 10 minutes Tamas break. Okay. I'm just waiting for 1-2 minutes. Others to come. Always the break issue. Yes. So this is the good time to start your professional life. So I do not advise to start the job during your fundamental, but once you have started professional, you should start looking for it. So if you get any kind of opportunity, you should start. What's up for the day? So I have some different views on these lines. So it's better to start now in a small firm rather than to get the opportunity in bigger firm. So for example, if you are not getting the opportunity for bigger firm, then what? What's the right time? You never know. So why should wait? And again, if you start working somewhere and you have some little experience, so let's say you start today, it's just only 3 months you working any particular organization, and you get the opportunity from, like you said, bigger firm, you can always quit. So no one can restrict you to quit. And in fact, on that time, you would be having an edge over others because you have some experience, at least for example, 3 months, you have experience. So let me share you. Once it's like 6-7 years back, maybe. Once there is an opportunity in my department, in my unit, and it was like decided we have to hire the ACCA. There are 4 types of CVs we had. One ACCA qualified with experience. Second category, ACCA affiliates or finalist, no experience. Third, finalist, but experience. Fourth, not qualified, no experience. Okay. We categorize the series into these four categories. The first round of interviews were with qualified, with experience. In your opinion, second round would be with? So two categories, no experience or some experience. So where you would fall if you wait for the right time, you would fall under the third category. The probability would be low. So to enhance your probability, you should be in the second category. Sure. So is the voice still low, Hassan? Is the voice still low? Mm, I hope you guys can hear me properly. Okay, thank you. So with regards to income tax, the key areas of income tax were property income, employment income, dividend income, interest income, and pension income. Good. And how can you guys forget? How? Then, like out of all of these, there was a concept of linked with this, the concept of remember, NICs were. I'm just asking. So if you guys do not recall, that's fine. NICs were like national insurance contribution. Good. Types of NICs. Class 1, 1A, 2 and 4. Great. Property income is same as F6, nothing new. Employment income. Whatever you studied in F6 is here, plus some new areas. Dividend income. It is same, plus minor new concepts. Minor. So like there are some addition, but minor. Same as F6 plus minor new concept in the interest. Pension income. When I'm using new areas, it is like new headings as well. Plus, there can be some areas where there was a full stop in F6, but here you will observe more in-depthness in that. Trading income. Trading income in F6 times can be categorized into three subcategories. One is tax adjustments, allowed, not allowed type of things. Second area of trading was capital allowances. And third, the favorite of all, remember, basis period. When I'm using the word remember, I mean At least you remember this name. Like not technically what was in, but at least name. Tax adjustments are same. Nothing new, nothing plus minus. Capital allowances, same. Basis period, it's all same. Just one new area over here. Same thing would go with the partnership. Losses. Easy, difficult area of F6. Easy or difficult area at times of F6. Difficult, intermediate, not so much difficult. Here it is same. However, it's important for F6. Sorry, it's important now in ATX because there is a lot of discussion around the losses. NICs, same, nothing new. In addition to all of this income tax stuff, there are some new areas in income tax, some new areas which probably difficult to map in any particular category. And out of all of the new areas, one thing which I want to highlight is what do you understand from this word, overseas aspect? Good one. And anyone like to elaborate more on overseas aspects? Hassan, yes, it includes the foreign currency matters, but not limited to foreign currency matters. It is basically, for example, a person who is UK resident, I hope you recall this term, UK resident, and resident in any other country as well. The person is supposed to pay tax in more than one country. So what to do with such type of person? So that is covered over there. And this is, let me tell you, very important area of ATX. Very important area. Yes, Hassan. So that's like more closer to what I just said. So if a person has foreign income, so for example, I live in Pakistan, I work in Pakistan. Is there any possibility that I have income from outside Pakistan? Yes. Would it be taxed in Pakistan? Would it be taxed in the country of origin? Origin means, for example, if I'm getting any kind of income from, let's say, UK, am I supposed to pay tax in UK as well? I'm not saying at the moment yes or no. So these kind of things are covered over here, overseas aspect. So at the moment, but mm, so I'm discussing all these one by one, and honestly, while I will move on to the corporation tax, I will discuss this thing again. Capital gains tax. In a summarized way, capital gains tax can be summed up into three categories. The first category is the calculation of capital gains tax. How the gain is computed. I'm just naming it. If you guys do not recall, that would be fine. So one discussion was, for example, part disposal, the concepts of chattel, non-chattel, wasting, non-wasting. If recall, it's fine. If do not, then also perfectly fine. Second aspect of capital gains tax was, can you name one, two of them? Only name. Good, good. Gift slash holdover release. Good, good. And fine. Spouse asset transfer relief. rollover. How can you guys forget rollover? Rollover slash holdover relief. Do you guys recall this name? BADR, Business Asset Disposal Relief. If you do not recall, then it's fine. Like we are just discussing the name. Or you can say I'm making your mind test of at least do you recall the name or not. Along with BADR, there was a concept which is called. So approximately we are done with all of the reliefs. Approximately one, two left, and one very important relief left. Commonly examined, commonly asked in F6. That was the benefit part of employment exam. Good one. Hassan Afzal, the last leftover relief is PPR, abbreviated as abbreviated as. It should be now. Is it now in your mind? Name at least. I'm not expecting the technicality. Very on. So I'm not going to ask how it was calculated, honestly, but at least that to the name section. So these are the two broad areas of the capital gains tax. The calculations are same, plus some new areas in it. All of these reliefs are still in ATX, plus few more reliefs are here. And very importantly, like calculations are there, reliefs are there. Although one very important area again, overseas aspects, and at the moment I'm talking about overseas aspects of. So what could be the overseas aspects of capital gains? For example, I live in Pakistan. I am a Pakistani resident for tax purposes. Is it possible that I purchase any asset in UK? Can I dispose of that asset as well? So there will be a gain. And since the asset was located in UK, the gain would be referred as UK gain. Am I supposed to pay tax on it in UK? Yes or no? So these kind of discussions would be over here, overseas aspects. Next interesting area. Inheritance tax. Easy area, difficult area. Easy area. Good to hear that. Interesting area. Not easy, difficult. That was interesting area. In IHT, whatever you studied in the TX IHT, that is, you can say, comprise of only 60% of ATX IHT. It means so I'm not like pointing it down, the concepts relating to it. Plus, always in every area, there is the concept of. So, for example, if Mr. A is Pakistani resident, he has a property in UK, and Mr. A expired, the property will be transferred to the children or successors of Mr. A. Would there be any UK IHT on this? Yes or no? Such type of discussions. Okay. The next is corporation tax. Let me divide the corporation tax into broad three categories. One is the calculation of corporation tax. One is the losses area of corporation tax. And third one was the do you remember group aspect? Probably from a book perspective, one chapter is tough and not very huge, 5-10 pages chapter is tough. But do you recall group aspect? Great, great. So this was like, I'm just using the name, okay? There were two group aspects in time of F6. One was the group losses group, and second was the, if you do not recall, that's perfectly fine. Now, calculation of corporation tax, how corporation tax is calculated. It is largely same plus I have never used this term, a lot new areas, some new areas, minor new areas. I'm using the word here, a lot new areas. Losses, same. However, more in depth. Group aspects. They are in depth plus. So there are some new group concepts which we will be studying. Last, not the least. From a company perspective, what would be the overseas aspect? From a company perspective, what would be the overseas aspect? Overseas subsidiary, and like, let me tell you, I work in a Standard Chartered bank. That's a 98.9 to be precise percent subsidiary of Standard Chartered UK. So the parent is 98.9% parent and based in UK, and we are the subsidiary. So are we supposed to pay tax in UK or not? So such kind of discussions will be done over here, overseas aspect. So again, Hassan, I'm not concluding it either yes or no. I'm keeping it open at the moment. So I'm like, these are the things which we will be discussing as part of overseas aspect. And overseas aspects are like very important, very important. What's left? VAT. Too much at that time. All same as F6. And I can quantify. There are 4 new concepts only. Out of these 4, one is again how the overseas aspects in VAT would be. Purchasing, selling to out of UK, to from out of UK, export, import, very good. Let me tell you one thing honestly. Overseas aspects were in F6. It's not like that's not in F6, that were in F6. But since I know like it has a very small exam weightage, so the examiner, the book, and we the tutors, we take this very lightly in F6. But here it is important. Apart from all of these discussions, there are some new areas in ATX. So I personally don't feel necessary for you guys to point it down what are the new areas. We will be covering that as part of your normal ATX syllabus. So some new areas of ATX. Isha, I'm coming to that piece, the study material and etc. etc. So this is the overall structure of ATX. We discussed about the paper format, a brief intro about the professional marks, ethical marks, and just to share with you, out of this 80, there are approximately 5 marks on VAT as well. Minimum, not maximum, minimum 5 marks. So if you imagine 5 marks on VAT, 5 marks on ethics, 20 professional marks. So if I exclude VAT, so how many marks left? So 70. Like text paper itself contains 70 marks from a study perspective. Strategy, study material, and study approach. So these 3 things now to be discussed. Okay. Since last session, and you can say from this finance set, ATX classes are basically primarily online, and the idea is to have a weekly query session. Weekly query session, weekly queries and practice session. Now, how this weekly queries practice session works and what is this planner? So the planner is this. I will zoom this out. I understand that would be not readable properly. How this planner works. So the planner is basically, this is a week. Better? Yes, no. Or I guess this light needs to be turned off. Okay, is it visible? I don't know. Perfect. I can zoom it more, but okay, so that would work at the moment. So this is basically, to be exact, the planner. So planner is basically week wise, and the first week for me starts from Monday. The weekend, weekly, you are supposed to cover these topics from your recordings. Then on these dates, we will be having our class. The class time would be same, like I can tell you, every day, Saturday, every time is like 6 p.m. So we will be having our queries. First, I will be addressing the queries. For example, today is 23rd September, and you guys are done with the capital gains, okay, from the recording. When we will be meeting on 23rd, first, I will be addressing your queries. For example, throughout the week, if you encounter any kind of query from the capital gain, we will first discuss that query. Second, once we are done with your query, we will be solving the exam kit related questions so that you guys will be familiar how the questions relating to, for example, capital gain will be examined, inheritance will be examined, etc., etc., etc. So this thing will support you in practice of your exam kit as well. Any query from this study approach? Anything to ask, to clarify from this study approach? So let me walk you through over this. you can see the topics. I'm not going to pronounce it, but last 2 weeks, 17th November. So I understand that's like too far, 2 months, exactly 2 months away. But we'll be having a general queries session plus ethics related discussion, how the ethics, on what lines ethics is examined in ATX, plus the guidance on tax planning area, what to think, how to think on the tax planning aspect. And after 1 week, day is not decided, but it's like after 1 week, we will be having the revision classes or exam question practice classes. Let me tell you one thing in advance also. If on any particular Saturday, we are unable to conduct the class, any reason, for example, gazetted holiday, not applicable maybe for this December session, but I'm just saying, for example, if any Eid, Bakr kind of thing, Muharram type of thing, 12th Rabiul Awwal, I don't know at the moment, then class will be shifted automatically to Sunday. Okay, so if not on Saturday, and if there is an issue from my side as well, then the class will be shifted on Sunday. So, but this is primarily, this is the structure, this is the way for your ATX classes. So, Hassan Afzal, yes, probably I'm not opening up the past paper, yes, but we will be solving the questions from the exam kit. So I will be opening up the exam kit and solving the questions. And as you would be aware, in ATX and all professional exam kits, all questions belongs to past paper. So there is nothing different. Mustafa, typing speed is leftover question. So let me first ask any feedback on this ATX study approach. By the way, these classes would be again hybrid, physical plus online both. So if you guys can join online, most welcome. If any issue, you can attend online. If you miss the online, the recording would be available. So anything to ask in the classes approach, do let me know. If anything not clear, etc., etc., etc. So book discussion, kit discussion, typing speed, I will address each and everything one by one. But first, any question or feedback on this approach? Anything? So why no physical classes? Okay. Any further question? Why no physical classes? I'll address that. No? Okay. Why no physical classes? So I don't mind answering it. So the issue is on my personal grounds because the considering the length of ATX. So ATX from a syllabus perspective and the book perspective, it's a very lengthy syllabus. And completing the syllabus from my side in 2 months' time. So this is today 16th, right? 16th September. And we are targeting the final class, the syllabus completion class to be on. So that's like 2 months to be exact from today. It's very difficult for me and for you guys also to attend all of the classes physically. And more, honestly, I won't lie, that's more of a selfish move. It's now getting more difficult for me to conduct the classes physically because I do recall in the March session, there was a lot of class cancellation from my side due to the office thing, etc., etc. But to avoid any kind of disruption or to avoid any kind of miscommitment. So I can do that. I announced it physically today. later on shift it to there, but I do not prefer this. But whatever is there should be transparent, day one, very clear. Let me look for these as well. So this is your first time doing this. So Zainab, the answer is no. I followed this strategy first time in the last September exam session. It was good, as in like uh, students study at their convenience and via the help of this planner. The good thing with the planner is it keeps a track on my end. Like on 22nd September, I would be expecting from all of you guys to be done with this. For example, the topic one, I'm just naming it. For example, on this date, I would be expecting that you guys are done with capital gains. On this date, I would be expecting that you guys are done with this. So this things helps me because you guys can manage your own pace. For example, if one person is busy on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then she has to spare some time on uh, Thursday, Friday, or early Saturday to come up with the class pace. So for last time, it was difficult to structure, but the last experience was good. Like again, this was the feedback. Why no physical class? It should be. Apart from that, to Isha, the answer is no. The all of the lectures would be available on your portal, and that portal is like topic wise. The topic names are according to that. So in capital gains, income tax, share options, tax efficient, presidency, overseas, corporation tax. So the portal would be based on these topics. And once you click on the particular topic, there will be 2, 3, 4 videos in that topic, which you are supposed to cover. Hassan, I agree with you. Focus on the past paper point, and I understand and I agree with you. And that's the reason I am keeping practice session in every weekly class. So once we are done with the queries, then I will be answering, we will be doing the practice question. So if time allows, we will be doing 2 questions. If time won't allow, we will be doing at least 1 question per week relating to that topic. You guys can also ask similar type of question. How long each topic recording is in, it is easily doable in a week? To Hassan, the answer is yes. So if you are thinking on these lines, whether it is doable or not, then ATX in 2 months would be a question mark. So it's like you have to spare the time. I try my best while designing this planner not to over or underburden any particular week. Like I try my best to keep the recordings equally time wise, but maybe 1 hour, half an hour, it can be more in any week, but less in next week. Uh, Mustafa, honestly, this is the difficult question for me. Limit on viewing videos on portal? I believe so, no. Honestly, I believe so, no. But I can check for this from the last session group, the ATX group, and I can confirm that. But at the moment, my view is no, but I'm not confirming anything because I'm very honest, like I'm not very much involved in the operational stuff. That's why I cannot very much comment on this. Please don't shy. So like behave like you are also sitting online. Though in online, the best piece is you can ask any kind of question. But please feel free. So again, it's not like someone asked. It's not like if it's week one, So only this topic would be available to you. The answer is no. If you are done, for example, within week 1, let's say you are good in capital gains tax and you are like, I can complete it quickly. Then you can move on this area as well. So it's not like restriction that you cannot move forward. Is this your to be exact question? So daily 2-3 hours means that let's make it 2 hours. Daily 2 hours means you are talking about 12 hours in a week, right? It would not be 12 hours, honestly. It would be max in a week 6 to 8 hours. Max in a week 6 to 8 hours in a week. So 1 hour per week, or make it, you can do it like, for example, you can give more time on Sunday. So it's your flexible thing. You know your schedule, you know your commitments, you can plan accordingly. And if I'm not wrong, again, I'm not very much expert on the portal. You can, so for example, on Saturday, once you reach home, do at least have a look on the number of videos and the time of the video, so that you can plan your week accordingly. So that's like flexibility on your end as well, and my end. So honest, I was honest, and I like, that's more of a selfish move. Do the recordings cover the F6 topic? So to Hassan, the answer is the recordings covers the F6 area as well. So for example, in the capital gains, it's not like go to your F6 class and check for the F6 area. The answer is no. So it's like the F6 area would already be covered in this overall video. So if inheritance, so that would be from the very basic, the definition of estate, the concept of IHT. So it's like normal class type of thing. So there is nothing like you need to open the F6 book, get video, anything. These are like fine. So if there is anything not clear after looking into this, you can raise your questions over here. And it's not like only weekly you can ask your question. You can ask your question in the WhatsApp group as well. I would not say that I will respond immediately, but based on my first availability, I will respond that as well, if any query relating to the particular topic. And by the way, on your portal, there will be two types of PDFs available. There will be two types of PDFs available. One would be the annotated file, like written file, and one would be unannotated file. So what I suggest you guys, take a print, download, take a print the unannotated file, the blank file you can say, the new notes you can say. While watching the video, write it in your blank file, unannotated file. This will increase the memorization. So this is one of my advice relating to this. And like any particular thing discussed during the class, the PDF, I will be sharing that PDF as well. So like, for example, this PDF, I will be sharing this PDF as well. And nothing. Okay. So one question was on the, so I'm zooming this out at the moment. By the way, can you guys take the snapshot of this? So I'm not saying that you will not get this PDF, you will get it. But to get the PDF, there is a natural time to wait. For example, natural time to Can I ask all of you guys to write your name and email ID also? So for example, from the below, again write your name and your email ID. Because for access thing, the email ID, the TSA will be needing your email ID. Mhm. So normally in the ATX, the question is like, you are a tax consultant, you work in a tax consultancy firm, your manager has had a meeting with ABCXYZ client. This is the minutes of the meeting. So I'm thinking like the actual exam situation. The attachment one contains the minutes of the meeting. Attachment two contains what your manager wants you to do in relation to the meeting. And that contains the detailed requirements. For example, your manager wants you to consider the following. Refer attachment B. You open the attachment B. I had a meeting with client A minutes. You can refer to the attachment one. Uh, I have a meeting tomorrow or next week, whatever. Can you please prepare the following from the attached meeting? Capital gains tax issues, IHT issues, income tax issues, for example. So you have to draft accordingly. And while drafting, you need to consider the professional marks. So let me tell you, in ATX, you will never ever be designated as tax partner. You will be either tax senior, max would be tax manager. And if you are manager, there will be some work assigned to you by tax partner. If you are tax officer or tax senior, your manager will be assigning you the work. It's always you will be the one who is supposed to do work. Yep, the answer is yes, Hassan. The resources will be available on TSA portal, not TSH to be exact, the E-Academy portal. What's the proportion of theory and calculation? That's a good question. Picture done? Proportion of theory and calculation. By the way, how many of you attempted SBR? 1, 2, 3. Attempted. 4, 5. Okay. Online ones, how many of you attempted SBR? 1 only. Okay, the reason, let me tell you why I was asking about the SBR reason. SBR paper is supposed to be calculative or, yes, Mustafa, let me note it down so that I won't miss it. Typing speed. Sorry. Yes, SBR paper, those who have attempted. SBR paper, by definition, is supposed to be a calculative paper, right? It's supposed to be. I'm not saying it is actual, but supposed to be. Like, while you hear the name of SBR, first thing which came into mind is it's a calculation-based paper. But practically, those who have attempted, how much was calculation and how much was theory? 70% theory, 90% theory, 100% theory. from, and okay, no, not on only, not limited to drafting perspective. So I'm like overall paper. So only theory, no calculation involved, or was it there? You can say 10%. Let me tell you my experience. So I attempted SBR in December 2008, and I do recall that paper as well. I was passed, alhamdulillah. But SBR, like while I was going into the exam hall, it was in my mind that it's a calculation-based paper, right? And in my time, SBR paper was basically 150-mark question in section A and 2 questions in section B. And that 50-mark question was based on the consolidation. That is for sure, the 50-mark question is on consolidation, which includes 4 professional marks, 5 marks on ethics, and section B. So in my paper, there was a 30 marks of consolidated cash flow, 30 marks straight away. 5 marks aspect A discussion, 5 marks aspect B discussion, ethics discussion, professional marks discussion. So 20 was theoretical marks. Section B, I even didn't touch the calculator throughout section B. So the calculator usage was limited to the section A consolidated cash flow only. But would it be classified as theoretical paper? The answer is no, because the theory was not a fate kind of theory. The theory is basically the explanation of calculation, right? In the same way, in ATX, that's more of a theory, but theory is not F8 or F5 kind of theory. It's basically the explanation of calculation. Like in the ATX, it would be very rare how the IHT calculate the IHT. It would be very rare, this requirement. In this situation, how the IHT will be calculated, please explain. We were already doing this, but we were calculating it. This plus this plus this plus this total multiply X, Y, Z. This is the IHT. Here, my answer would be, we are supposed to sum A, B, C, D, E, F. G would not be added because this is not supposed to be added. Whatever is the sum, we are supposed to apply tax rate. So this is the kind of theory in the ATX. And if you go for AFM, again, similar line. So in all of the professional exams, it's not you are mainly, and even if there is calculation, that would not be your main answer. That would be your appendix or exhibit type, not in the main answer. Because those who are working, they would have an idea. Like in the professional life, we are supposed to write up the things. And if there is any workings, that always go into the appendix or exhibit. So that's not like we never ever start with the calculation. So we start with the concepts, we start with the framework, and then we support the calculations based on the discussed framework. So this is basically the theory and calculation. But if you still ask me, it is like you can say 60 to 70% theory. And again, the theory is not traditional kind of theory. That's the explanation of calculation. And 30 to 40% is like calculation. So Isha, the answer is no. There will be the spreadsheet as well. And you know, one thing very interestingly, based on your question, Isha, in times of your F6, those who not attempted any professional paper, at times of your fundamental papers, any one particular space was available, like either it was a spreadsheet or Word to respond to your question, right? But in ATX or any other professional paper, Word, spreadsheet, both are available. It's you to decide whether you want to answer this question on a spreadsheet or you want to answer this question on Word. And the best approach is use the both. So maybe your main answer would be based on spreadsheet with reference to the working on, sorry, your main answer would be on Word with reference to the workings on a spreadsheet. Hassan, yes, to be exact, descriptive calculation. Typing speed, on lines of typing speed, Mustafa, typing speed is important, but so typing speed or writing speed, whatever you name it, that's important to complete the paper, because if you have a poor typing speed, and I do recall, like when I was my ACCA final exams, the paper was not on computer, but I was not very much familiar with computer. Like while typing, I need to see where is A, where is B, where is C. So if this is the typing speed, then you need to enhance. But average, so I have no quantification. This much words per minute would be fine. But if you have reasonable typing speed, that would work. So I never ever heard from any student complaining incomplete paper due to typing speed issue. So if there's any conceptual issue, unable to manage the time, the questions is a different thing. But sir, I have a poor typing speed. That's why I'm able to complete the paper. I never ever have this feedback. Any other question if I may? Or any other thing still you want to ask? I will share the link to the book, to the kit, the soft copy, obviously. I'll share the link of book and kit as well. So Isha, by chance, I just look into your message. So the book and kit, I will be sharing the link to the folder where you can access the book and the exam kit both. Just for reference, the book is Kaplan and the exam kit is also Kaplan. To Hassan Afzal, the answer is yes. But let me tell you one thing very honestly. During these sessions, till session number 8, writing the correct answer for me is important rather than the proper drafting. Like the concept building is important rather than the cosmetic element. But in these two sessions, the main focus would be on cosmetic, how to write the answer. Like these two sessions would be morely focused on how to write rather than what to write. So yes, that would be, and again, that would be by default part of your exam kit question. So exam kit questions would be automatically in the theoretical form. So that aspect will be captured from there. But again, probably while doing the exam kit, I will be writing the answer in theory, but maybe I would not be following the drafting philosophy. I will be just, these are the key points which should be captured, which should be addressed rather than uh, drafting it properly. Do we have to read the whole book or selective topics? Why is this a question, honestly? So you want me to say selective topic? In my view, it should be. So let me respond to this question seriously. The answer is no, Hassan. Like, if you are clear on what to write, how to write would not be as such issue, because if I am sharing the bullet points with you, translating the bullets into a proper paragraph is not as such issue. But from day one, if I focus on drafting, then probably we may miss the technical aspect. That's why focusing the technical aspect first, because if you know the technical aspect, then that side is not very much difficult. Uh, on the book side, mm, maybe this page. On the book side, uh, whether you read it or not, that's a different thing. But I strongly suggest advise to cover the following from the book. First thing to cover is the illustrations, examples, test your understanding. Then do cover the key points, fast forwards, or summaries. If you are clear with this, no need to look into detail what's inside the whole chapter. But if you are not clear with this, then you need to go into the details, what is referred over there. Because one thing which is in my mind continuously is ATX syllabus is itself lengthy. So if you are going towards the book and you start reading each and every page, then December would be early to attempt the paper. Like then at least you need then 5-6 months. So like we need to work smart along with hard. So smart work is important in ATX. That's why read the key points, fast forward summaries. If you're fine with these, no need to look into the depth. But this would be done after the recording. So for example, when you are done with the capital gains recording, then you should do this and then move on to this. So this should be the approach. No. So again, with respect to planning, like I said, there is a dedicated session on planning from my side also. Okay. So again, that's why at least to build up the jargon, the technical aspect, that's why still I advise you to read this. That's why I still advise to read this. The key points fast forward because like during the lecture, it's generally in an informal conversation, but in the formal, proper jargon-based conversation, how it should be written, you will learn from here while reading the key points fast forward summary. So that's why I always advise to cover this one as well. Notes, I would not say 100%, it covers 95% plus. And again, for a proper jargon-based theory, that's why I'm referring over here. Passing ratio of your students, I don't have the statistics at the moment, but alhamdulillah, that's always a good percentage those who manage to pass the exams. But it requires your seriousness as well. Like it's not like if sir has a good passing ratio, then I will also pass. It's you are the ones who have to maintain it. It's your responsibility also, Mustafa. So, you know, with respect to the normal recorded lecture versus this one approach which I'm following, in my opinion, the difference is in the normal recorded, teacher has no oversight. But at least on this approach, I have a weekly oversight. If you are not present in week 1, in week 2, you are not coming up with week 1 plus week 2 query, then it means you are running behind the session. And if you are even not coming at all, then anything further? If no, then I like to conclude for today. Perfect. So let's meet on next Saturday. I hope you guys have mentioned your email ID. I will share this list with the admin. I hope you guys will get the access on Monday. So since tomorrow is Sunday, so I expect you guys to have the access on Monday. And I also um uh Hassan, those who are online, they should drop their name, paper along with email ID to Sir Fahim. I will, because those who are in the physically class, I have collected their email IDs as well along with the contact numbers. Those who are online, I request all of them to drop a note to Sir Fahim, name, email ID. Since you are dropping message, so number would be there. And we will ensure that you will get the access by Monday, inshallah, along with your WhatsApp group. Okay. So see you guys, inshallah, on Saturday. One thing, a humble request. So apart from all of that, please, whether you able to cover or not, please do attend these classes, like the weekly queries class. Do not, for example, due to any reason, if you are unable to complete this week task, do not think like, if I go into the class, what will I ask? Or if sir is solving the question, I would not be able to understand. All things are fine, but please do attend the class. So that, one thing is, learning by observation. So if your fellows are asking any question, probably, maybe you would stuck in that area, so that would support. Because I do not expect you guys to spend 2 hours to look for this class recording again. Last screen, this one. Okay. So thank you very much. Hope to see you guys inshallah on Saturday, i.e. 23rd September 2023, along with the first topic, which is capital gains tax. Perfect. Thank you. Tata, bye bye. Once I have your group, I will share this PDF as well. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.